It's another beautiful day. I can't help but be outside. What's going on with the sudden eruption of transgender and LGBT everywhere? Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors, Jack Daniels, Disney, Target, Kohl's, Walmart, Lego, Adidas, Nike, women's sports, the Los Angeles Dodgers. On the one hand, we know that the transgender thrust is a cash cow for the involved industries, the medical profession, medical supplies, tech companies, and big pharma. They stand to make billions on a continuing pace if they can get lots of kids transitioning. But retailers are not an integral part of that money-grubbing loop. We're left with, what do retailers benefit by pushing LGBT and transgenderism as they are? Well, here's the truth. They don't particularly benefit. It's just another line of merchandise like many others. But what has happened is that the LGBT people were the squeaky wheel that got the grease. There was so much protest and so much hate speech, accusing anyone who disagreed with them as haters, that they won the front page above the fold. Companies were branded and profaned if they didn't hire and promote gays. And once those gays were in position of power, they launched LGBT initiatives in hiring and training and LGBT merchandise in the product line. And the more this happened, the more companies were shamed if they didn't join in. LGBT has now become the idolatry of the age. You worship at their shrine, or you are branded as a bigot. So what's going on is that just about every aspect of our lives here in America is now oriented towards not just the legitimization of LGBT, but the exaltation of it. For some, as I mentioned, it's the most lucrative strategy to come along in years. And for others, it's not wanting to be branded a bigot. See, LGBT has won the culture war on the mantra that everyone should feel free to choose whom they love and how they live. But what's really going on is that DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI policies have captured corporate and educational America. The problem is that these DEI stances are not diverse. They only include those who will honor LGBT and BLM. They are not interested in equity, which is a catchword for the persecution of anyone who is not a minority. And they are not interested in inclusion, because they only include those who think the way they do and have the same values they do. So here's my response as a Christian. 1, to paint this, as they do, as an issue of freedom, love, and tolerance is a linguistic smokescreen designed to intimidate and manipulate. You see, freedom is not being able to choose whatever you want. In that case, freedom includes crime and horrors like rape and slavery. It includes slander and malice. But no, doing whatever you want is not freedom at all, but anarchy. Freedom is lost when everyone does what is right in their own eyes. Instead, true freedom is really fully experiencing the depth of what truth is. Roger Olson writes, "At the heart of the Christian gospel is the strange truth that real freedom is found only in giving up everything the secular culture touts as freedom. A train is only free as long as it stays on the tracks. A train that jumps the tracks, is free of the rails, but it's no longer free in the most important sense of the word. It's a freed wreck that can't go anywhere. free, but no longer truly free. I mean, how free would you be on a highway if everyone was encouraged just to do their own thing? Any old speed, any lane, any direction. That would be mayhem, not freedom. Well, it's free in one sense, but in another sense, you're not free at all. You live in fear. See, independence then is always dependent on something. See, a sailboat is free only in its obedience to what's going on in nature and to the rules of effective sailing. An orchestra works when each musician is obedient to the conductor. You see, true freedom is constrained by truth. In the same way, love is not being able to love whomever you want. We respond with horror when a 50-year-old man chooses to love an 8-year-old girl, or when a son chooses to love his mother by going to bed with her. See, the LGBT campaign is driven by love wins, but love can never be the sole criterion of validity in relationships. And by telling only a half-truth, the LGBT advocates have won over people who misunderstand love as positive feelings, while ignoring the other aspects that make love truly love. Now, as for tolerance, I find it more than interesting how intolerant the LGBT camp is of those who arrive at and hold a different perspective. We are smeared with bigoted hate speech, and we are called homophobic, bigots, and haters by those who in bigotry hate us. We're not permitted to hold a different value system, which lists pretty high on the list of what intolerance really is. So freedom, love, and tolerance are word games to manipulate and intimidate people to agree with them, either by craftiness or by fear. And that's how they seek to control us. Now, my second response as a Christian is that this entire LGBT transgender agenda is part of the world system that we are supposed to repudiate. The things of this world, the cravings of sinful people, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, these don't drive us to God. And whatever is not of faith is sin. See, we've been saved out of the world system. Why would we want to go back to it? Paul wrote in Galatians chapter 2, "Who has bewitched you? Are you so foolish? After committing yourself to life in the Spirit, why are you trying to live by means of the flesh? Now that you know God, or rather are known by God, how is it that you are turning back to the things of this world? Do you wish to be enslaved all over again?" Those people are zealous to win you over, Paul writes, but for no good. What they want is to alienate you so that you may have zeal for them. And it's fine to be zealous, provided the purpose is good. Instead, be zealous to have Christ formed in you. Wise words from the Apostle Paul. My third response as a Christian is that we are called to love people, care for people, and to show them God's presence in us. This does mean kindness, but it does not mean endorsing their values or their lifestyle. Friendship does not equal approval. Jesus was a friend to people of all walks of life, without endorsing their walks of life. He recognized value in people without conceding any merit to various aspects of their chosen lifestyle.